Hey, this is Jeanette with Winery Solutions. If your winery financials feel confusing, frustrating, or just plain useless, it's probably not you. More often, it's the system. In this video, I'll show you 3 reasons your financials are confusing and what to do about them. So the first problem is your reports are too messy, so you stop looking at them. Think of your pantry. If it's chaotic, you avoid it unless you desperately need something. Your financials work the same way, and they got that way because QuickBooks was designed for a generic small business, a contractor, a consultant, a t-shirt shop, not a winery. And that's because a winery is complex. It's 2 businesses in one. You're a manufacturer turning raw material, grapes, into a delicious product, wine. After you bottle the wine, you now have case goods inventory, and you are now a selling business. But you sell through many different channels: tasting room, wine club, online, wholesale, and more. Each channel has different margins, different workflows, different reporting needs. So when a generic QuickBooks setup meets winery reality, important accounts go missing. Now, different bookkeepers layer in their preferences over the years, so you end up with duplicates, outdated names, and chaos. Instead of helping you make decisions, your profit and loss just creates noise, and most owners stop looking at it. Now, the next problem is your cost numbers are probably incomplete. Now, you set your wine price based on a cost, but what went into that cost calculation? Grapes and packaging, sure, most wineries get those right, but what about winemaking labor? Winemaking overhead. If you have estate grapes, your tax preparer may have excluded them from your wine cost entirely. So if you are missing cost components, your margins look better than reality, and that leads to pricing mistakes and a false sense of how you're doing. Now, the third problem is profit is being confused with cash. So you had a packed tasting room weekend, a great club run, deposits in the bank, it felt profitable. But that cash is now tied up in inventory, wine production, equipment, or debt payments. So at the end of a genuinely good month, you might still have no cash in the bank. Owners see that and think their financials are broken. They're not. Cash and profit are just different things. And if no one's explained that to you, the numbers will never make sense. I'll show you what a cleaner setup looks like. Let's head over to QuickBooks. This is my sample file, and I'm showing you a profit and loss report. What you'll notice is that I have one wine sales account and one wine COGS account. But I have set this up with classes for each of my channels. And that's what this report shows. So you can see the wine sales for each of the channels, the wine COGS, and most importantly, the gross profit. It's a very important metric you want to track. The next thing you'll notice is that my overhead expenses are grouped into functional groups so that I can collapse them. And with this collapsed report, I can prepare a 1-page P&L, and I guarantee you, even the most accounting allergic owner will be able to read a 1-page P&L. And then the last thing about my chart of accounts setup and how I organize my accounts is I put all my winemaking expenses down here below the line in the other expense area. Now, all of these expenses move over to the balance sheet, to the inventory section of the balance sheet. And that's so that these numbers do not interfere with your actual operating profit and loss. This also makes a clear distinction between your winemaking costs and your COGS. So the COGS wine is the cost of the wine that was actually sold, whereas the winemaking cost is the cost of making the wine. And then I want to show you just real quickly an inventory valuation summary report, because a lot of people don't think that this report exists. So this report shows all of my SKUs, the amount that I have on hand, and the average cost, and then the total value, so that down here at the bottom, I have the grand total value of all of my case goods. So if your financials feel off, it's usually one of these 3 things. Your reports are messy, so you avoid them. Your costs are incomplete, so your margins aren't real. Or you're watching cash and calling it profit. And any of these will keep you in the dark about how your winery is actually doing. The good news is all three are fixable. And fixing them is exactly what I built the Fundamental 5 course to do. It's a step-by-step system for setting up QuickBooks the way a small winery actually operates, so your financials finally work for you instead of against you. If you're ready to stop guessing and start running your winery with clear numbers, the link to the course is in the description. And if this was useful, subscribe. I post practical, no jargon financial guidance for small winery owners every week. See you in the next one. Cheers!